click.
All right. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Authors Unite. I am Kindar, the Tiger Writes.
And I am Isa. Only Isa.
And I'm CK.
And since if I don't do this now, I know I will forget. If you like what you're seeing, please subscribe, share, like. Is there anything else I should be mentioning?
Ring the bell.
Ring the
bell to be warned. Although I'm a little annoyed at YouTube that they changed how this works. I no longer get my email warning now. You have to be on the app to be told when you get new videos. That annoys me. But you know what?
But we love
Progress.
YouTube. We do. Love.
Please don't ban us.
We can talk later on Discord. How we feel.
Alrighty. Today, because Christmas is coming, we will be talking about the holidays.
Yay.
Do they belong in novels? Do we put them in our novels? Yes, no, why? So, anybody wants to start?
Sure. I put one holiday-ish in my Lizzie Langdale series. Actually, a few, I think. But I chose. Oh, the sequel. Sorry.
Oh, all right.
No, actually, the first one too. Just not real holidays. In a way, like I chose to make up new ones specific for this group of people, because if you use like Christmas or Hanukkah, or you put a lot of labels on your book and a lot of restrictions. Like it has to be set within a certain time period, like when they actually celebrate these things or things like that. So I made a moon festival instead.
That you've just touched on the main reason why I do not put holidays in most of my novels. A lot of my novels do not deal with humans, so human holidays would not make sense. But even sorry,
do you ever make up your own holidays and put them in?
No, and this is not a I don't like holidays. It's a I never think of holidays. As a truck driver, holidays are something that don't really exist. Because I'm always working. Like, my days off have nothing to do with the holidays because I will usually drive over Christmas. I will drive over Easter. I will, So when it comes time to write a book in another world, the idea of having holidays is not something that occurs to me. Half the time, I don't even think to give birthdays to my characters.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
I have a list of all my characters' birthdays, and they all correspond with a real-life person's birthday.
I
remember any of them.
In the Death by Predation story in the series, Trembor is a lion, so he has a very large family.
He's a lion! How dare you? He should be a tiger!
The Death by Predation series came about. I was writing a lot of anthropomorphic stories at that point, and every story had a main character that was a tiger. So when I wrote the Death by Predation story, the first book, A Wasteful Death, I specifically made sure none of my main characters, none of my immediate supporting characters were tigers.
I disapprove.
But Trembor, because it's a white family and there's a lot of children, for the first book I wrote all the names, all their age in the first book, but there's no date. So in the subsequent book, I keep having to remember that time has passed and that they're not actually still those ages.
Yeah, I know that problem.
I had a cheating idea of how to solve that, guys. Yeah,
Go
and
for it.
it's in on my Waxton School book. La
Cool.
la, they all change date. They all change like the age in the 1st of January. It's a rule by the government because the government rules it all, so they decided to do that. It's perfect, guys. Oh, it's perfect.
So, so Isadora, do you put holidays in your books?
I love the holidays, like you guys know. My house is all decorated of Halloween and etc.
She's the reason I
However,
did this.
yeah,
It's all her fault.
yeah, I convinced that CK to do it. However, I never remember the holidays, especially because I usually have a thing for schools. That's why I'm teacher too, and that's why my first book's called The Waxton School. So the school year starts in January, as it should be everywhere, and it ends in December. But when it's ending, the book is also ending, and they don't have time for holidays. Like it usually is the climax of the book. They don't have time to stop and go to a Christmas dinner, you know. And now I'm writing a story that's not on Earth. So how will they have Christmas? It's not possible.
Well, holidays doesn't have to mean Christmas.
Yeah,
I think
then
this
I
is
would like to make up a holiday. I think it's more believable and also
okay.
I've never, but
So, so we've addressed if we put them, yes or no, and why. So let's go on a slight tangent related to that.
Mhm.
What should govern holidays on fictional world? Like, how would you determine? Like, our holidays are now old enough that not everybody knows where they're from, but they all have an origin based in societal events. Thanksgiving is, was celebrating the harvest. You had just harvested your field. You had a lot of, you were thankful for that, and that became Thanksgiving. Christmas, the way we know it now, took a lot of solstice related holidays and mashed them into one religious holidays. But in a fictional world, what would you take to create your holidays?
I kind of have a fun thing I just want to mention here. In Denmark, we actually have a holiday. It's a single day that's called Big Prayer Day. And it's basically because I can't remember if it was the government or the king, I think it was the king, decided that we had too many holidays spread around through the year. So he put all of them together in one day so that he didn't have to give the peasants more days of work.
That would never be in Brazil. In Brazil, we invent holidays. I swear to God, we have holidays for all the saints. I swear to God. Honestly, every month we have at least 2 holidays. It's perfect. It's the only thing I'll miss about Brazil. And also, like what you said, is that, like, for example, here, we don't have Valentine's Day in February because of Carnival. That's the biggest holiday of Brazil. So we moved it officially to June because we didn't have holidays in June. So definitely you have to think about that when you're writing. We are not writing always about humans. If you want to create a fantasy world, you have to think that different races think differently.
They will
Can I just ask,
celebrate different things.
Yeah,
which day is Father's Day?
it's the second Saturday of August.
For us, it's the third Sunday of June.
June 5th.
I know
Your
for us it moves.
birthday.
For us, it's always the third Sunday, so it's never the same day.
Father's Day, my birthday, and Constitution Day is all the 5th of June.
They do
Oh
that
my.
in Denmark, like they cram together many holidays. So
So okay,
My birthday's a holiday.
so to go back in a fictional world, what could be used
well, it
to
depends.
create a holiday around, you know?
Well, I used the moon in mine. Um, I decided I have these werewolf-like creatures. Well, kind of opposite werewolves. They are wolves most of the time, and on the full moon, they turn back into human to have a fun party, the Moon Festival.
Oh.
At the school, the American Academy of Extraordinary Gifts, AAG, they have this. Well, the older classes have a party on the roof every full moon where they like fight each other for fun to see who can beat other kids up. That makes so much nonsense. And they have
Hey, you are on Earth, right? Like you can't ignore the fact that America is obsessed with Christmas. Like in October, the whole America is already with Christmas trees and everything. How do you deal with that? You just ignore, or you acknowledge
I
that
well, well,
December?
well, I mean, we were talking about fictional world here.
But her story is on Earth. It's fantasy,
Uh,
but it's on Earth.
Isadora, you may want to move your microphone a little closer. You're sounding a little soft.
Oh, but
Well,
they can
okay.
scream.
Okay. Well, no. Well, I mean, it is a good point. If your story takes place on Earth, especially in North America, do we address? You know, how do we deal with it? I honestly ignore it.
I have a
I
little calendar marking the days, like the starting date of the book, and I just cross off days as time passed. And I haven't made it to December yet, so
Yeah, the passage of time with me is a bit fluid. Um, you usually I almost never put a date
Mhm.
in a story. Like the one that is on a version of Earth that I have is the Inheriting the Line series. The book one takes place in spring. Book two takes place in autumn. Books three takes place. I think this one takes place in October because there's an actual comment about Denver being too cold for October. But you know, I tend to forget that holidays exist. It's not that I have that I am anti holidays. Is that the story? I'm just busy. The story takes place, and unless I need a holiday to happen for a plot related reason, I I just forget about it. I have a story, Missing Son, in which Christmas plays a part, not a plot, a big part, but Christmas happens because it's a situation where the main character is missing his family, and Christmas serves as a reminder that he's not with them. Um, I think that's the only book in which I've actually put a holiday.
in concerning death, I had a murderer who was murdering people at very specific but unfathomable intervals. There was a very specific pattern to it that wasn't clear at first. So I had to keep meticulous track of every date. So literally every chapter starts with a date written within the book. And even if I sometimes have like time just passing. So I just do like a date and then a single paragraph and then a new date like 3 days later and then a single paragraph and just have like 5 of those paragraphs to show the time passed. But it was very hard work
Yep.
keeping track of. I'm not doing that again.
How many holidays did you hit doing it that way?
I would have to check my notes. It's been quite a while. I think I hit like 1 or 2 birthdays for the characters, and that was it. I didn't have anything on like it was over and done with well before Christmas, and Valentine's was way in the beginning, which I just sort of skipped over. I made newspaper headlines instead of actual paragraphs. I don't think I hit any actual holiday, and if I did, I ignored it because I didn't realize it was holiday.
But when I was thinking about start cozy mystery writing because I love it. It's my favorite genre to read. And cozy mystery, you can't run away. Like you have to have holidays. It's the main thing of cozy mystery. So it also depends on the genre, I think. Like
Okay, not the cozy mysteries I wrote, I read. I don't recall the Cats in Trouble series. I don't recall them having one holiday in
I
it. Like,
can't believe it. Something must be wrong.
I mean, I would say it probably depends more on the theme of your cozy mystery series.
Do you think?
Because I remember one that's basically in Halloween Town, um, where well, it's a fictional city somewhere in Missouri where the entire town is as if Halloween is every day. So that one is very heavy on the holiday.
You have to tell me the
But
name of it.
sorry.
You have to tell me the name of it.
I'll do that in the Discord after once we're
Okay.
done because I don't know it by heart. Um, but the one that I remember reading was the Cats in Trouble series, and the theme was in the book that was always going to end up with a cat being in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even though that's not the mystery, that it's usually the catalyst that creates the mystery, or gets the main character to the mystery. You know, but no, I don't recall there being holidays in that series.
That's
It's
absurd. Crazy.
so
Absolutely impossible to think. Just kidding.
I can't help thinking about my own book, obviously. But in Little Langdale, I had the full moon festival every month. And that sort of changed the whole book in a way. Because they have this fighting thing where they get to like try to prove themselves to their peers and see if they can better themselves every month. I had one character who was so focused on actually getting to attend this amazing party where everyone dresses up and fights and drinks and dances and has a good time because she's never done anything like that before, that she literally was convinced to stay behind from the quest that the other characters were going on, to stay at the school to attend this party and be their like lifeline to the school. And that became a unforeseen hurdle in a way, because she was left there and then she was kidnapped from there because other people with ill intent knew where she was. So this became sort of like a lawine of just consequences unfolding because this one girl wanted to attend a holiday party. So in relation to that, how do you, or have you ever used a holiday or made up or real or anything like that to sort of twist the story, like have a significant impact on the story?
well, as I've mentioned, I don't really do holidays in my books. The closest I might have come to it would be in the Death by Predation series. Trembor, my lion character, because he's got a big family, they have a monthly dinner where him, his father, his three mothers, all his siblings, his nieces and nephews, they all get together. They all have a dinner at their parents' house, and um, initially that was just an excuse to show how big the family is and what Trembor's role is in the family. But with book 3, it became a way of establishing a problem that one of his brother has, because he's got a gambling problem, and it becomes addressed because him and his father get into an argument over it, and Trembor gets a little bit dragged into it and stuff like that, and that problem keeps coming back throughout the next to that book and the next one. But yeah, that's basically the extent of my usage of holidays.
Yeah, I haven't used it yet, but something I've been thinking about basically for years now, that I should invent holidays and use it, and I plan on doing it, especially because I'm writing Lich RPG and they have to go on many quests, and the quests basically are subplots that they get solved, like they don't keep going. They get solved in the small sphere, and they're like many small circles that revolves around, no, they are inside a bigger circle. Whoa, that was complicated. But anyway, the quests are usually solved quickly and doesn't matter for the rest of the other quests. So I could use a lot of holidays, especially because there are many races, different races. They could be like walking in Natal and everything is painted black, for example. Just invented that. They look and why is everything painted black? Oh, it's the half orc celebration of the thief. The thief. And I'll definitely use that from now on.
I'm realizing I will have a sort of made up holiday in an upcoming book. That third one that I'm not supposed to be working on.
No.
It's
Cinder has too many
it's a lit
projects. It's a little time.
yeah it's a lit RPG story. It's part of the system apocalypse subgenre, where Earth gets changed, but the story takes place 30 years after the changes happened. So the society has changed to take that into account. And one of the things that I've established is that children do not gain experience until they hit the age of 16, at which point they choose their class.
That's cool.
So that becomes a holiday that you know they're I guess it would be I just realized that you know in the US for girls they have the sweet 16.
Oh yeah.
You know, so this would become sort of a widespread version of that where it becomes a holiday. You know, they're I don't have a name for it at this point, but you know where they get to pick their class.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So and that's actually going to be part of the story where you know by the main you guys read the first line of it that I posted in Discord. You know,
Yeah.
my name is Dennis Michael Carpenter. I am 15 years old, and this is my last day as a child. You know, because the next day he turns 16, so he, you know, he has to pick his class, and officially he becomes an adult because he's going to start gaining experience and gaining levels.
Cool. Well, which class will he choose?
I don't have a name yet. I'm trying. I want him to be somebody who does parkour. So I need to come up with a class where that would work as an ability.
I'll send you a gift later from the
Sure.
office.
Sure. So because the reason I thought about it is because there's a bunch of video games where they have special ability, like literally running along walls.
Mhm.
And I was going, how do I work that into a lit RPG ability? Like, what kind of ability would that be? And I sort of came up with it.
Why
You
not
know,
monk?
sorry,
Monk. Monk.
Poe.
M-O-N-K. Monk.
Oh, well, you see, monk for me is a fighting class. It is not a class of acrobatics,
But
you
they
know, which is
do
what
it.
parkour is more for me. I do have a monk in that world because Dennis's great grandmother is a martial art expert.
Mhm.
Her class is monk. Um, but yeah, I need to come up with a class name and what other abilities. Like I know what the ability is, I know what other abilities are going to be, and that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I just need to come up with a class that I can that I can wrap around those, and that I haven't come up with.
I spent a lot of time making up classes and abilities and everything within the Lizzie Langdale universe. And then I have now spent 2 books completely going, wow, these class systems suck. They
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Putting people in boxes is no good.
Guys,
Well,
I gave up. I gave up on
it's
event.
part of the reason where in my 2 series that come before this one, I kind of make the classes up already. We're down to okay. No, that was faster than I thought. Um, I make the classes up as I go. You know, giving them abilities that will fit the situation. But then I lock those classes into that. So if I give that class to somebody else, they have to live with the abilities that are in there. Um,
Hard. That's hard.
yeah, well, I
You
mean, to me, it becomes
forget that
to
you
me it becomes
invented
part
it.
of the fun.
No, you forget that we invented a class and gave them a skill and they never used the skill again until 10 books later. And when you realize, oh, wait a minute. So that's
I love this. And then 10 books later, because Kinder writes so much, he'll have 10 books done by the time he realizes he's forgotten something.
yeah.
Oh, oh yeah,
I
yes,
just
that's
copied the classes from D&D. Basically now it's not copying, it's so established in our minds that dwarf, elf, halfling, humans. I gave up on inventing my own classes.
I'll do that for races.
Yeah, for races, sure.
But
Yeah.
for classes, I try to avoid
Mhm.
the established one. Like in well, sorry, I try to avoid the established classes with my main characters.
Okay,
I
yeah.
will I will give fighter to a background character. I will give cleric to a
Barbarian.
background. But to my with my main characters, I try to give them something a little more specific, a little more um, individual. Like in Changing World, Chuck is an ether guardian.
Hmm.
Um,
That's cool.
Richard is going to be an arcane killer. In Going Mobile, Lewis is a base commander.
Okay, I got the idea.
So you know, and around them, I've got thugs, I've got uh, hunters, I've got
Druid.
lumberjack. But I like my main characters. I like people around close to them to be a little more individuals, so that they have less generic classes.
Thanks God I never struggle with that because all my main characters are cultivators.
But you see, even my but I yeah I don't have a cultivation book. Um, and after reading one, I'm not sure that I want to write one.
Mhm.
The closest I come, Bottom Rung borrows from cultivation a little bit, but it is
Mhm.
not a cultivation book.
Mine is a mix between cultivation and lit RPG.
I'm just so happy I don't write any of that. I'm so lost in your conversation. I have no idea what's going on.
Let's go back to the holidays. What do you guys think?
Well, yeah, to close,
Yeah.
should holidays go in the book?
If it makes sense within the book, yes. If it doesn't,
Yes.
forget them.
Same here. Same here. If it makes sense for a holiday to be there, put it there. Address it as much as the story requires. But I would say avoid putting it there just to be able to say that there's a holiday in it.
I think that's about as generic and non-specific as we can get.
Yeah.
I think you could mention if your book is in America and it's in December or October or November, maybe just mention like, oh, I'm walking down the streets with all this Christmas decoration, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then I would say well, again, I would still say only if it's relevant to the story.
Well, it could just be atmosphere, like a backdrop.
That makes it relevant. That makes it relevant to the story.
To some degree.
Yeah,
It makes it relevant that there are things around them, but not specifically relevant that it's Christmas things around them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Anything else to address?
Happy holidays!
Happy holidays!
Yeah, happy coming holidays. So, yep. Thank you for watching. I am Kindar, the Tiger Writes.
Thank you, guys. Yay, subscribe, comment, like, share, and press the bell button.
Alrighty. Have a good day, everyone.
Bye-bye.
See you on the next one.
See ya.